Ecamm Fam, welcome back to the Amesbury Test Studio. I am super excited for today because I get to pick the brain of one of my favorite people and talk all about studio and gear and how he makes it all work. See what I did there? We have Kirk hanging out here with us today. So if you are hanging out with us live in the chat, ask away. Be sure to throw a Q colon in front of all your questions. Ask Kirk anything you want to know. This is a new take on the Meet the Ecamm Fam series where I think if this works out, we'll do even more kind of these fun behind the scenes and understand like what people's studio spaces look like and what they are up to. So without further ado, Kirk is hanging out today.
Yes!
Yes!
I'm so excited to be here. I've made it to Meet the Ecamm Fam. Okay.
I'm more like, yes, I've made it to Kirk's studio.
Well, I'm so excited to be here with you guys, man. This is going to be absolutely awesome. Excited for this.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm pretty sure that most people know who you are, but in case we every now and then we have new people that pop into the chat. So if people don't know who you are yet, you want to give just a brief background on who you are and how many different kinds of things you are running? Because it's not like one show with you. It's all the things.
We're doing a couple of things. We're doing a couple of things. So I'm Kirk Nugent. Yeah. And I go by the Geek Speaker Preacher. This is a name that was given to me by my audience. And it's because I love all things tech. I kind of like to speak. And because I am a media pastor, they kind of added the preacher part on there. So I believe a couple of things. I love to say this one line. It is a line that I want to be known for. I hope that I'm known for. Your live stream is your digital storefront. Just going to pause right there for a second. Your live stream is your digital storefront, because there's no greater way for people to experience your greatness, your superpower, your secret sauce than for them to see you do it live. When they see you do it live, they don't need the ad campaign. When they see you do it live, they don't need the taste test. The little orange chicken they give you on the toothpick.
You're going to make me hungry today. I feel it. I'm feeling it.
You don't need any of that stuff. When they see you do it live, they're ready to work with you. They're ready to book you as a consult. They're ready to have your course. They're ready to get in touch with your business. When they see you do it live, it's the ultimate cheat code. So that's what I love about live streaming. I am a remote producer. I do host a number of podcasts and shows. I absolutely love live shopping experiences. And I am a media pastor. So all of those things combined, that makes up the term how it all works.
Oh my gosh, I love it, and I love we're earlier today. So we have Al hanging out with us, who's in Australia. So normally Al's not on, and we have Obs, and we have Luis is here, and Paul. I see Dan. Yeah, everyone is hanging out. Vincent's here. Yeah. Look at this. I love it. Different day and time. It means we're throwing the people off.
You get a different audience when you when you do something slightly, you get a different audience. Different people show up. That's great.
Absolutely. Well, I want to talk. I initially forced you to come onto the show today to be able to talk about some new projects that you're up to. But certainly would love to just hear kind of the differences. As I said, you do a number of different shows. So how do you, I guess, why don't you go through what they are and kind of what the differences are between the different kinds of projects that you're working on?
So I have my own show. In fact, we just had a season finale at the end of April for How It All Works. We've been running that for 5 seasons, and we just had a season finale of it end of April. And then my wife and I launched a new show the first Monday in May. Mondays at 7 p.m. is kind of our time spot. We've kind of blocked out Mondays, so there's kind of a little bit of a rhythm there, a bit of a cheat code for us to kind of maintain consistency. But we launched a new show called The Incubator's Couch. And so in that show, it's a slightly different format. The other show was live interviews, kind of like what me and Katie are doing right now.
Yeah.
So I would bring in creators, I'd bring in entrepreneurs, all different types of folks, and we would talk about the merging of all their passions. That's the term How It All Works, right? When you start to stack your passions, that's actually one of the quickest ways to niche down. Because if you're into fashion, but you're also into media, if you merge the two, that's a smaller niche than if you were to try and go after either separately.
It's a really good point.
That's the whole concept behind How It All Works, is kind of that stacking of your passions. So that's what we would do. We'd do these interviews just like this. We'd have people come in and we design the scenes and the overlays, the lower thirds. Ecamm is exactly how we do all of it. So that is the secret sauce behind all of them. But for Incubator's Couch, myself and my wife host it here at our dining room table.
I love that.
Because you can set up Ecamm anywhere, right? So we host it at our dining room table, and we have business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs come and interview whenever is convenient to them.
Physically in your physical space. That's awesome.
Yes. So they come in. Last Wednesday we did 4 interviews.
Wow.
Just, that was the time that people had, and we're like, yeah, come on through. And we interview them. Interviews are generally about 20 minutes. We interview them in Ecamm. So I have a Stream Deck on the desk in front of me, and I hit record, and we chat. And then we hit the finish button. And that video is the video that my wife and I will play during our live show on Monday night.
Oh, that's really clever. So you're blending together live video and pre-recorded content to be accessible for everyone's schedules. Yeah, that's great. Right.
And then that little interview, that 20-minute interview with the guest, we put an intro and outro on that, and that's a podcast.
I love you and I are always on the same page here. I'm like, how do we make it easy? How do we make it repeatable?
We don't want to reinvent the wheel, but no. I mean, I love the ability, Ecamm. When you record it with Ecamm, we've got all the lower thirds on there. We've got the person's handle on there. So it's actually a done video. I want to say to somebody out there who's thinking, man, it's a lot of editing. No, I hit record. I hit finish. That video, unedited, is what I play during our live show. So I'm not putting it on the timeline. I'm not doing anything. I play that thing. Done. And yeah, that takes up a good chunk of our live show, but it also, here's the other thing that I learned about with this, Katie. This is, again, these are all new revelations. I haven't even written some of these things down.
Yeah.
But because we are doing the interviews ahead of time, I can craft a very pointed title for the show.
Oh, very good point. Yep.
Because I already know what's going to be said, and I experienced it myself. I know what the value is, and it just makes for even us setting up the show while live, we already know what the interview is. Yep. So even as we're kind of prepping for playing the video, we're already leading into what we know the value is going to be.
That's awesome.
It's been really good.
So how does how does the setup and like the flow of it go on Monday? So you are live, but you're rolling, recorded clips. So are you, introducing the clip and then having discussion about it afterwards? Like, what is the flow of that?
So the way that I produce a show for clients, and I literally, my wife and I decided we're going to treat ourselves as I do our clients, right?
We are going to be our own clients.
We are going to be our own client, right? Yeah. So we have a countdown clock, 1 minute, 33 seconds. We have a intro video. The intro video drops to the two of us, and we kind of welcome everybody, do some shout outs. Then we have host rant. There's a 8-second bumper video that plays that kind of lets people know that this is the host rant. There is a host rant where we said, you might be a Clientzilla if, and the audience went nuts. We just clipped out that host rant and made that a video. That's awesome. Because there's a bumper video to lead into the host rant, and there's a bumper video to lead into the next segment. So those bumper videos serve as my, that's my cheat code. Yeah. My VA goes into the description and puts the time codes right at where those bumper videos are. So anyway,
no, this is great. I love it.
But yeah, the bumper video leads us into the host rant. The bumper video leads us into the incubator spotlight, which is generally the person that we're interviewing. Yep. We have them send in a video, and we spotlight their business, and then that video then leads us into what we call the therapy session. It's Incubator's Couch. So it's supposed to be like therapy for businesses. That's the whole idea.
I love it.
The therapy session bumper video leads right into the interview. So it doesn't come back to us. It leads right into the interview. And then once that interview is done, there's a little bumper video that leads back to us as hosts. And then we close out the show. So it's a little intuitive.
No, what I love and what I really like, one of the main reasons that I love talking to you, and I think it's really important for everyone to just take a note on this, because this is something I'm learning myself, and Kirk has done a really great job of this, is really understanding like what the goal of the show is and spending some time to think through, right? So you're saying cheat codes, 100%, right? Thinking like, okay, like, you know, this is, we need this kind of intro. We know we're going to be spotlighting this kind of person. We've already recorded that video. Like knowing like what each of those points are and having that very set and specific workflow makes it so much easier to repeat it week after week, makes it so much easier to repurpose those videos, and then makes it easy to plan. It actually also even makes it easy to make any edits. Like if you were, you know, a few weeks in, be like, oh, you know what, our rant isn't working anymore, or people want like an updated, you could pull that out. You could put it in a different spot. You could swap in something else. You have those segments all thought through. And I feel like sometimes we miss that in all of the technology, and we miss that in like, you know, like in the show that we're doing. But even if you miss it, or, you know, you're however many episodes in, you can start doing it at any point, and you can make any changes at any point.
There's no reason to delay. I love the comments, but I mean, these are quite literally, this is how I try to treat our clients. And so we decided we're going to do exactly the same for ourselves. And the way I see it is each one of those segments that we do, I think the one I skipped is the resource of the week. And so there's the host rant, resource of the week, incubator spotlight, and then of course therapy session. So that makes up the entire show. Therapy session is the longest of all of them.
But each one of those is a repurposable video, right? So like, I need to get better at segments, because I think it's so smart. Like it just makes it easy to understand. And the consistency also like builds up. So people are like, oh, this is my favorite segment. This is like, you know, this is like the part that I'm excited for. It's just genius.
I'm just laughing.
I'm like, Monty, it's so good to see you. I hope you're having a great day.
Always good to see you. But no, you know, these are things that I absolutely love about live. It's just, you know, those are segments, and you never know, you never can tell which segment people are going to resonate with. Sometimes the thing that causes people to be like, man, you really helped me, could be the host rant, the beginning of the show, or it could be the therapy session. But you know, the whole thing is the whole live experience, and then we can just drop out those pieces. I mean, they're not meant to be very long, and they're literally designed for repurposing, right? So boom, we share those out there. And generally the host rant is something that we want the audience to engage with. So it's like, it's almost perfect for putting it on Instagram or TikTok later, because you're asking a question. So, you know, the same energy and, you know, how you would ask that question live to the live audience, those who are watching on those other platforms are gonna be like, oh, they're asking us, you know, if you've ever been a clientilla. Yeah, I have been. When I was getting married, I was definitely a clientilla. I was terrible to the organizer, but, you know, and you don't even recognize some of those things. But again, just kind of playing off of, you know, the experiences that people have, and making sure that we utilize tools and systems like Ecamm. I got to keep going back to that, not because we're on the channel. I want to be on it. Ecamm has been the cheat code of cheat codes. I sit at the table with a Stream Deck and I just hit buttons. And I'm producing the show. It's really nice.
It's amazing how out of your, I mean, and I'll speak personally, like out of my element I am when I'm not in Ecamm. So I have really good friends who do a sports podcast. I've been on their show a couple times, which is hilarious because I know nothing of sports, but I sit kind of awkwardly and chat about other stuff. But they are all PC users for now, and so they can't be using Ecamm, obviously. Yeah, we'll convert them. But they've been trying to do more live video and streaming and just video in general. And so they had a Discord channel and they did their first live stream of their show earlier this week that I was on. But they went from Discord through OBS out to YouTube, and it was like moments where they're like, you know, this thing has happened. Do you know, like, you know, how can we fix that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know anything about OBS. I'm just a pretty face here hanging out today. I can't help you at all. Yeah, it's you definitely want to make it easy, and you definitely want to make it like something that you can repeat to get consistent with. And I think that's, having Ecamm is great, and having Ecamm always on is great. And again, that's like something that I think takes an intention. Like I'm always on the move in different spaces, kind of like I imagine you, right? Like you're at your dining room table, and you have like your other show, which is in that space that you're in right now, and you have, and then you have work. So you almost have a little bit more of a challenge with having Ecamm always on, because you're different than like Doc, who is always in his same studio space. So it's like everything is there; he just switches it on and goes. How do you manage that, and having to like
so that's great,
break it down and set it up, and it's that would be a challenging.
I mean, no, it's actually not. Ecamm, so my go bag, and those who are local to Huntsville, the go bag is like a whole term. But my go bag has a ZVE10.
Okay.
It's got my MacBook Pro.
Yep.
It's got the regular Stream Deck, not the mini, but the the regular one.
I have one somewhere.
It's got a regular Stream Deck in there.
Yep.
And I have an audio interface, but I don't always have to use it, because you can just connect to the camera, and the camera connects. And so I have a go bag is what I like to call it, and I can set up in 10-15 minutes. I can be set up and ready to go no matter where I am, and it never fails. Like I showed that in the Ecamm community maybe a couple of months ago. I was at a vendor event. My company was at a vendor event for banks. We'd done a number of productions for these banks, and so they said, "Hey, come to our event." So then we get to the event, and we set up Ecamm, set up a TV screen that has the output of program output from Ecamm. Like all the Ecammers know what I'm talking about. And so people are walking around the back of the table to be interviewed by me, and there's a crowd of folks standing in front of the table watching this thing. Like, how is this possible? This guy just got here.
What are you doing?
And all of a sudden we're live, and I'm recording these interviews and handing it to the people, handing it to them as they leave. They're just like, what? So Ecamm is like an ultimate cheat code. I just because I do it so often, I'm so used to just kind of walking in, plugging up what I need to, and going with it, man. So yeah, that go bag makes it really simple.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, Al's saying he wishes that was all he had to take to a gig. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're doing. Certainly,
that's true.
And you can do it probably in a couple of different ways depending on how many spaces you have. So again, like someone like Doc has his full built-out studio. That's like 98% of where he is recording and streaming from. But then he's got a small go bag that he brings out when we do like events and shows, etc. But yeah, sports make it a little bit more difficult. Also, I feel for you there.
And very much, Al, I'll say even in the faith-based space, which is the studio that I'm going to showcase today.
Yeah,
it is way more things than what's in my go bag. And so with them, we ended up having to kind of build out our own little space. And, we're going to dive into that.
Let's jump into it. I'd love. Yeah, we'll take a tour. And again, if you have any questions, live viewers, throw them out. And I'm sure if you have the question, someone else does. So put a Q in front of it, and we will make sure Kirk sees it. All right, over here to you, Kirk.
All right, cool. I'm just gonna I'm trying to make the questions a little bit bigger so that I can see them properly. All right, cool. But yeah. So in this space, this is my home base. This is as Doc says, you just want to have a space where you can just walk in and record. Like as inspiration hits me when I'm watching TV with the kids, I'm like, oh, that's a good video. I just walk upstairs, I tell Google, turn on the lights, and then I record it, because that's this space. I don't touch anything here. And so just quickly, there is a top-down shot. So you can see for unboxing or whatever, this is the top-down shot. There is behind-the-scenes shot so that you can kind of see what's behind me, and you can see my other space over here, which is mainly for Amazon Live, which kind of showcases some of the things I have on that side. So there is two defined sets in this space. I will say that this space I do cannibalize every now and again when I go on the road for my larger productions. But this space that I'm sitting at right now, where we come back to the main camera, this does not move. This is a stationary. I don't change anything here, because I want to be able to walk in and jump on with Katie at a moment's notice. No, we planned this, but I'm just saying, I could be watching Doc rock live at 11 p.m. at night, and he says, "Kirk, jump on," and I just run upstairs and I'm on. So I do always advocate, if you can, one of the huge cheat codes of being able to be consistent with your content is having a defined space. Now, I want to showcase a couple of things. I want to show them in picture form first. So here's a couple of pictures that I want to showcase that kind of walk through a space that we're building out at my church. And I'm going to try and explain some of this a little bit. So this is of course, green screen for our children's program, which the pastor for that is just phenomenal in terms of the content that he creates.
Wow,
It
so
really
cool.
needs to have its own show. It's its own thing. But this is was a mother's room at the church that we've completely cleared out, and we've given ourselves two sides of this, I guess, divider. On one side we have the green screen. On the other side we have just a black curtain. Let me see if I can find one that just shows that. I don't have one. All right. But the idea is on the other side of that, we also have the A10 Mini Extreme. Of course, you can see the Rodecaster Pro there, an iMac M2 iMac that's there. Couple of cameras. Then we have a feed coming from the main house. Now, the reason for this entire setup is we have, for the lack of a better term, pre-show and post-show. I know it's a church service, but we have hosts for our online audience that we cut to at strategic points in the service. So
Oh, neat.
For your welcome time, for your, kind of shout outs, like talking to people in the comments, talking to people about different things that have happened, showcasing different promos, specific and unique announcements to those who are online. We have this space created and defined for that, and that's one of the major responsibilities that I have at the church is, of course, in engaging that online audience. And then, so yeah, we have the two hosts that are there, and they do a great job of kind of just speaking. This is a different iteration of the setup here. This has gone through many different iterations because
hear that, everyone? It's okay to move things around. It's okay to test it around.
Yeah, it is absolutely okay. So because it is not like this anymore. But so this is one of the iterations that we have there. You can kind of see what it looks like. There's two cameras in the middle there. There's a confidence monitor in front of them. We have some lighting, and then there's some lighting on the ceiling as well. So wow. I'm looking in the comments. I don't see anything just yet.
Nope. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's Paul Duncan just saying, put some things in there. Yeah. Okay, good. Here is yet another picture. Now, this is, me taking a selfie, and of course, some of my team members trying to get out of the shot. But one person is he's running the switcher and Ecamm. The other person behind him, sitting at the table there, is actually in the chat. Responding to people in the chat, talking to people in the chat, but also monitoring what the stream sounds like from the web side of it, right? So from the YouTube side of it. So wow. Also very critical in that whole production is making sure that we have immediate feedback if there is an issue, if they're hearing something on the stream that we're not hearing in-house. All of those can be critical in terms of, time sensitive things that you want to make sure of. This is kind of what it looks like right now. We've actually painted the entire room. This is actually a picture taken in the middle of Sabbath service. So there are people on the stage.
Look at that. You have big space, and being able to actually see into the service is really cool. Yeah. That's a special.
And it really makes, because we have a shot that is kind of over the shoulder for those that are actually hosting. So we will switch to that shot from time to time, and the audience absolutely loves it, because they can see what the hosts see, but they can also see into the sanctuary. So that's been really cool. Using Restream on one screen to keep all the comments right there in front of
I see that
host, and those comments are coming from literally all the 6 places that we're streaming to. So the hosts have, real-time access to those comments. We control that screen from the producer's desk. And then you have that confidence monitor that is actually showing what's live. Whatever is live is on that monitor. So, wow. It really does help. And then of course we have the teleprompter there and the camera, the main camera that's on the side. There are 4 mics at that desk, but only 2 of them in use on a regular basis. We do have a couple of podcasts that we run out of this room for the church as well. So it is, it's quite a setup. So I'm going to go back to my original here. I think there's a question in the chat, but while you guys are asking your questions, I will just kind of play some video of some of the iterations of the setup. So this is very early. Like when I'd first joined the team, you could kind of get a feel and look of what we have in there. The confidence monitor, we have the Sony camera, but the TV is actually mounted on a C-stand, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I didn't even know that they made those mounts. One of the things that I also noticed and I'm going to get to your question, Al, is that for the large scale production houses, they haven't really figured out great ways to incorporate comments, and comments are so critical for people to feel engaged, to feel involved. So being able to incorporate Ecamm into that larger broadcast system has been a game changer for us, and I see it as a trend that's going to continue on. I know there's many other ways to incorporate comments, but this was one that really worked well for us, and I thought was a really cool way of kind of showing it off of some of the pieces of that puzzle.
So does the speaker or pastor, whoever is on the stage, see the comments, or are they mostly there because they're not questions? They're just people chiming in and being part of the experience.
We are working on ways for the speaker to be able to see the comments. So inside the sanctuary, there are 4 cameras. There's a boom camera, for those who are familiar with that. I'm not even going to go into what it is. But then there's your left camera, your center camera, your right camera, right? Camera 1, 2, 3. Camera 2 which is in the center. We have a massive screen, and on that screen we have comments. So the speaker can see the comments, and if whether or not we are showing the comments on screen, the speaker can speak to those comments should they desire, right? I mean, sometimes people are just kind of responding, they're not asking any questions, or they may have a comment that the speaker will kind of use to further drive home a specific point or whatever it might be. But we are trying to incorporate this into the overall experience here at the church. So yeah, no, that's a great question. But yeah, some speakers do very well with that, while other speakers don't. So I'm going to get to no, I guess it's just one. Al is asking for my multicam. Are you using the same types of cameras? Yeah, we're using Sony cameras. The church already had some cameras, so I'm just kind of utilizing what they had in place. I think down the line a ways, especially as some of our podcasts start to take off, we're probably going to get some equipment that is more specifically geared towards that, because these cameras are more for broadcast than it is for consecration and close range type things. We need to be able to get a wide shot 4 or 5 people at that table, and we can't really do that with the camera that we currently have. So some of those things are going to be there, but yes, all Sony cameras, and generally speaking, I mean, sometimes, for the most part, we're even trying to get the same model. So great question, Al. Thank you so much for that. The only thing I was going to say about this particular video is, like, there's a point where I zoom in on the camera itself, like even this shot right here, where you're seeing what it looks like for the host, both hosts who are speaking. That table, where that round table that's in the corner there, that's where the hosts would be. So I'm going to zoom in on that, what that looks like right now. So that's what it would look like for the 2 hosts. And that was what was there prior to me, really coming in and taking over. It was a good shot, but because of the light and several other things, it didn't work very well. So we kind of shifted away from that towards a different setup. Let me see if I can find. All right, so this is actually a more closely resembles what we have now. So this is actually a back shot of what we are currently using, and then you can see that black curtain there. On the other side of that curtain is the green screen that we showed earlier, and then you have the people that would be sitting there to do the production. So again, another view of that as well. We've put some things up on the wall now to kind of give it a little bit better feel. Of course, we've painted the room, which really has given it a full studio vibe. That table was custom made because we wanted to kind of arrange people at the table in a specific way to get them all on camera, but you really can't buy that. So we had to have that made, and the only part that's shown on camera is the part that has the black tablecloth on it. So but yeah, In that corner there, you could see there's another camera, that over the shoulder shot that you would be able to see, not only what's happening in the studio, but also what's happening in the sanctuary. So, yeah.
This is just really cool. How big is the team?
Oh man. Okay. So the team that works in this space with me is about 5 people.
Mhm.
So, and we have, one or two who are just kind of making sure, getting people in and out. So they're not necessarily doing anything technical. They're just making sure, the next person who needs to be, at the live desk is ready to take their spot. Because normally in between switching out, people will play like a 60-second, 90-second video, and then when they come back, hey, now we're with Katie, and Katie, what did you think? So we try to do ESPN sports style, but for church, right? So it's
Yeah.
pretty kind of, it's a unique scenario, but I think it's one that people are kind of used to that format, because who doesn't like sports? So.
Yeah. Well, I'm I like sports, but I definitely couldn't speak to any of it. That's for sure.
Oh man.
Oh
I
my
have I
gosh.
have like one or two other videos, but they're
Yeah,
vertical,
that's okay.
and I didn't get a chance to set them up ahead of time. So I'm just gonna drag it onto the screen,
Yeah, do it.
because this is the Ecamm Fam, and it's like,
Yeah.
let's just do that.
We're behind the
So
scenes
boom,
today. Yeah,
we're behind
exactly.
the scenes today.
Exactly.
So this is an additional look uh, of the space.
Uh,
This was actually while we were live. I'm gonna turn off the other one so that we're not seeing two. And this is kind of gives a little bit better. So the hosts are actually hosting the show at this point, right? There's some other people that are standing there waiting for their time to get on. You can also see that we've done a design for any Ecamm where comments are on screen. And then you
wow.
can see the host and the host as well. So you see that lower third. It really gives when I say, guys, it's a really cool look and experience for our watching audience. Yeah, you can see, of course, there's Ecamm right there. That's as they call it, mission control. That's where everything is flowing through. Dwayne Wood, who's also a member of the Ecamm community, he's a member of my team there at the church. He's followed me. He's been in some of my classes and stuff like that. When I realized that he was at the church that I was going to be media pastor of, I was like, "You're on my team. I don't have to teach you anything."
Promoted. Yeah, exactly.
You're sold, So, so excited to be able to find Ecamm Fam all over the place. There's another Ecamm Fam person that lives in Tennessee that actually travels down to work with us on the team as well. So Gary Jones, that is, and it's so awesome to be able to pull these folks in. And yeah, that's right, David Hunt, Dr. Dwayne Wood. It's so awesome to be able to pull these folks in and have them part of the team, and we're able to kind of just have some Ecamm fun. So that I thought that this video, I know it's vertical, but this video
No,
in particular,
it's
because
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah.
it really kind of showcases all of the different things that's happening there. Slides are being done at that back table. Live chat and live monitoring is there. Of course, you have the person doing the switching between the two cameras in the studio, but also switching to the house, right? So the house has 4 cameras. So they send us a feed and we can
Wow.
switch to them. And that's kind of how we go back and forth between the two. So
How,
then
I
that,
mean, I'm so impressed because there's so many levels and layers to this. Not that I'm even kind of surprised you're able to pull this off, because I know you pretty well, but I mean, walking into this, even with your skill set, would have been challenging to think through, like, okay, what kind of experience do we want to create?
right.
What gear do we have? I'm sure in a church setting, even a large church, like, there's still limited budgets. You need, all
Yes.
hands on
Yes.
deck. How did you, I guess, approach, like, first step? So they had, they obviously they had, they had a passion for this, a mission for this. They had some
Mhm.
level of it that they were doing already.
Right.
Yeah. How did you get to kind of like, okay, here's where we need to start and to be able to get to this?
So kudos to this church. This is Oakwood University Church. It's Oakwood University is a HBCU here in Huntsville, Alabama, and they have a church on the campus. It's a massive church. Of course, it does serve the university, but it also serves the greater Huntsville area.
Wow.
But kudos to them for already kind of being well down that road of
Yeah.
being, media aware and recognizing that we don't just want viewers, we actually want engaged online members. And I think that
Wow.
was the shift. So
Yep.
the lead pastor there was like, no, we have 20,000 people that watch the service, not just live, but not specifically live, but let's say after 2 weeks, our videos have like 20,000 views. That's great. But I don't know who those people are. I have no idea what their needs are. I don't know their names. I have no way of engaging them. And so I want to bring in somebody whose main focus is going to be engaging that community online in a way that's tangible, in a way that really draws them in, and creating an experience for them that is completely separate to what you would get if you were to come in person.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had already kind of set up some pieces, but it was on that, I guess that stage, right? So he kind of set the stage, and then I come in and say, okay, one of the best ways to be able to do that is, of course, we need to engage them with comments. We need to be able to have somebody who's speaking directly to them, right? You don't want the generic appeal, the generic announcements. If we're having a fish fry at the church on Sunday and somebody's watching from Albuquerque, New Mexico, they can't come to the fish fry. So let's not tease them with that.
Yeah.
So we want to have something separate for that audience. And that was the impetus behind that. And so, I came together, kind of thought it through with the team. I'd done something similar for a project before, but not at this scale. And so it's been really awesome kind of seeing it all come together. It is not overnight, just as you said. It is a faith-based
it's a process.
organization. So it's we had to kind of shoestring the thing together. But it has as people see it moving, they really are supportive. Like, man, we're really kind of moving in a different direction now. So, and that studio space where we do the live broadcast from is going to double as a space for creation for the church as well. So anybody that has a story, anybody that has something they want to share, they can come in and we can, hit the record button on Ecamm, wait for them to finish, hit the finish button on Ecamm, and then hand them the video, because it's all there, right? That's what I love about Ecamm. It's like wildly technical, but on its surface, I just need you to be able to hit this record button.
Yeah, exactly.
Button. I mean, I don't need you to understand all of the things.
Yeah.
So it's been really cool. And we're already starting to see an uptick of people wanting to use that space.
Yeah.
Oh man, I see Laz Curry in the chat as well. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Al hanging out. Yeah, the whole gang is here. Yeah, and I agree with Al. It is absolutely next level stuff. But I think what's cool is that, and what I wanted everyone to see in this, and and we'll certainly be sharing this video out to people who weren't able to join us live. But you're right. Like, Ecamm is as simple or as complicated as you need for it to be.
Absolutely.
And a person like Kirk, again, does a really great job of like thinking big picture and thinking through like, okay, what do we want this experience to be like? And again, you're doing it on so many different kinds of shows and projects and things, but you've thought through like, what is the gear? What is the overall experience we want the end user to have? How do we put that together in a way that's sustainable? Who are the people? What are the resources? How do we build it out? So, on one hand, you have your show, which is like you in your space. And then on the other hand, you have this huge 20,000, people watching these church services. I just think it's really great. Yeah. And Laz Curry says, it's just something you're getting started with. Yeah. So there you go. Lots of potential and people to connect in with. Yeah.
You just live is a whole different world. Online is a whole different world. You just never know how people are going to be blessed. I mean, how people are going to be impacted. And that doesn't, I know that, some people may hear faith-based and they hear church and they start thinking, I'm tuning out. But I want to say that to some folks, man. It is, I use the exact same practices and principles in this space for this church as I do for my corporate clients as well.
Yeah.
It's completely transferable. So, the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do. Ecamm is such a phenomenal tool. It really is. And that just pairs so well with so many different things. And you just got to think through what you want your process to be. The last thing I'll say, because I'm pretty certain we have to be over time at this point.
Yeah, we're over time. I apologize. But thank you.
The last thing I'll say is you probably heard that recurring theme, not just from my show that we're doing with the Incubator's Couch with my wife, and then of course this production that we're doing at the church. You want to think through what you want the experience to be for the end user.
Yep.
And then what do you, as the creator or host or whatever it is, what do you want to do with this video after the fact?
Yep.
And those two things, if you think through those pieces, you can kind of design a show, design an experience that really checks all those boxes and allows you to do some really cool, innovative things after the fact. So hopefully that this was helpful. I just want to say a word of thanks to Katie for this space and the time to be able to share a little bit on what we're doing. Yeah.
Our pleasure. It's always, and thank you so much for taking the time and being, I was not watching the clock, so sorry for being over, but yeah, I really appreciate it. And please, everyone, make sure that you check out what Kirk is up to and what he is doing, because it's just absolutely remarkable. But yeah, have an amazing weekend, and I look forward to chatting again soon.
Absolutely.
Bye, everyone.